Hey, you can't see me right now because I've got my tape over my video camera and I don't really feel like being on video right now. I look and feel like crap. So, um, trying to get some work done. You know, you're going through targeting, when you're going through a psychological operation through long-term trauma-based events. You know, you really start to try to find a reason, like why all of this is happening. How is it possible? How is it possible? So, okay, everyone has heard so far, mostly. If you haven't heard, listen to the news about pedophilia, child abuse, trafficking, all of that. If that is like one of the most illegal things in the world, basically, if you get arrested or convicted of that, it's a death sentence. If you go to prison, I don't know. I hear about these pedophiles. I see them posting shit on Twitter, stuff like that. I don't know. They're trying to normalize it, which is not normal. So, if these people are doing this and it's so illegal, imagine how much money that's spent on this. Imagine the price tag for a little child. Say, I'm just gonna get okay. So like, a famous golf player was paying some different prostitutes, and I saw those prostitutes. Some of them were pretty good looking, and they were getting paid $1 million. Now those are adults. If they're doing that on their own free will, they're not being pushed into that. Hey, you're all adults. Go do your own thing. As long as there's no trafficking, no cult, sex slave kind of thing like we've had going on. If that somebody decides when they're an adult, I think I want to do this as a profession. You're an adult, go do that. It might not be the safest thing. You get the point. So if that happened for $1 million, imagine how much these sick bastards that have billions of dollars are paying. I'm not saying all billionaires are pedophiles, but the ones that are, think of how much money they could be paying corrupt government officials to put their victims, onto a targeting list to drive that person insane and make them want to kill themselves or lose everything that they have or act out in aggression. When you're getting attacked. I was watching some movie and they were interrogating people, and the people, it seemed, that were being wrongfully accused would act out in violent, like yelling, and because they were, I can't think of the word right now, they were being violated, they were being wronged. So when somebody does something wrong to you, it's your natural reaction. Hey, wait, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Get away from me. Stop. Knock it off. So in this targeting program, you deal with that every single day of your life. So think of that. Think of that. These people that sexually molested little kids, like, had groups and programs to identify their targets. Having kids have sex with each other and filming it, selling the videos. And I'm talking from personal experience. When I was a little kid, these things happened up until I was in third grade, till I left the Lancaster, Palmdale area. Moved out of there. I have no more recollections of me with other children. But basically, as far back as my memories go, up until third grade, uh, pretty much every kid's house I went to. Why was that happening when I was a little kid? Where were the parents? What was going on with 30, And I started realizing it, noticing the pattern when I got older. And then I also started realizing, hey, when that happens to little kids, now this is from research from psychologists, psychiatrists, different people that talk about trauma. When a little kid is abused, the trauma is so bad that the brain turns off that memory. It finds a way, and I don't know how to explain this properly, but basically when the trauma is so terrible and so horrific that, and the pain is too much to deal with, the brain just shuts off and pushes that back into a compartment. Might as well take this off right now. I apologize. I just didn't want to talk. I look terrible. What's this? But they put that back into a compartment. It becomes compartmentalized in their brain. Pushed away. And then, if they are lucky enough to have a successful life and get to a point where their brain can start to rest a little bit and start to heal, start to function properly and be at rest, it makes way for those compartments to kind of drop down and regress, I think might be the right word. You start to have these memories that you never had before. Then you can start to question, you can start to figure things out, you can ask people things. So if those people don't want you to ever have those compartments opened up and actualized, God, I'm probably using the wrong words here. I'm just trying to explain this the best I can. This is why I should have just left that thing on there. Anyway. So if a person, say they adopted a child, and it wasn't to give that child the best life possible, but make it appear that that child was given everything and was a bad kid, if they adopted that kid and used them for what I was just talking about, they would never want that kid to grow up and be successful and be a credible person. Let those memories or feelings come out and go get that information out, because that person, it would end their life, it would ruin their life. So they're going to do everything they can. Say they made a lot of money selling you when you're a little kid. They have all that money put away somewhere, maybe in some bank account overseas or something like that. Or I don't know how they do it. Or they do whatever. Launder it through properties or something. I don't know how they do it. But they will use that money basically, or their connections, to get you onto this targeting program to keep you in a state of stress, panic, moving, losses, everything. You can't win. Therefore, you can never get enough solid ground. You're on a treadmill always. You can never catch up to that person. Just catch them.
put them away for what they did. So that's why I've spent the last 2 years researching Executive Order 13818 and the new update to the Uniform Code of Military Justice and all of these indictments. And I'm hoping, I know how big this is. I know this is huge. Amazing Polly talked about Nexium and how ridiculously huge it is, how people would not understand. This is the same thing. I don't know if it's Nexium, but this is the same. I just hope that the Q stuff is real. I'm in a hurry for it to happen. I need this information to come out like yesterday. And when you're trying to put the puzzle pieces together and you're being gang stalked and you're being targeted, everything is being taken away from you, you start to sound I don't know, you sound different ways to different people, I guess, that haven't been through certain things. Their mind just can't imagine this. It shouldn't. Your mind can't imagine it when you're going through this. It's hard to believe. But if you listen to the news, listen to what's going on. I just heard on the sergeant report him saying several key words that were very, very important to what I'm talking about. And he talked about Stasi type police, our government being infiltrated, and political um, targets being gone after, and pedophilia in the government, compartmentalized groups of the government. It's been going on for a long time, since the 70s, that I know of. Well, that I see, that's the thing. When you're trying to explain all this, you know things happened. You aren't behind the scenes watching it all happen. You are the person they're throwing darts at, the person you're in the dark, and you just have to figure out what's going on. You have to reverse engineer something that you can't possibly imagine. And the whole time, the people that are around you, your family and these friends that care about you, and they always tell you it's all about family. It's all about family. And then they disappear. Every one of them. Like this reoccurring dream that I had when I was a little kid. Oh. Sorry. This is not good production value video. I was sitting here at the table doing some eBay stuff. But this is real, people. I'm sorry, I have a hard time just staring at the camera here. There's a lot that when I think of having to explain this whole thing, as soon as that thought goes in, but because I've had to explain this in detail over and over and over and thousands of times, more than when I ran my insurance agency, to get people to understand what the hell is going on. And I'm so worn out mentally and physically, financially. I mean, look at me. I only have a few things left in my life, and they're threatening to take those. Everything. Put me in prison. And I would think that in the United States of America, schools that I went to, and we were taught that, hey, if you have all the movies, TV shows, all the shit that we got taught,
that if you told a police officer that you were going through organized stalking and harassment, people were breaking into your house, people are threatening you, that they'd go, hold on a second, come over here, let's talk. Let me write some stuff down. I'll pass this on to my supervisor because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. If they don't know what you're talking about, we'll run that up to the FBI, and those people investigate it because that's what they do. They investigate these really crazy things, right? That make no sense. The X files, all this stuff, all these things where they have to connect all the dots. You call those guys, right? And then it turns out you have to be those guys. You have to learn how to do all that stuff just to survive. You have to learn how to be your own attorney. And then when you learn how to do all this stuff, they get their ego hurt. And instead of saying, okay, we understand you're smart enough to defend yourself from tyranny, they don't recognize your effort to stand up to them. Like, even a bully, like on the playground, when they try to just kick the shit out of you, and then they don't one day, they give you a little more respect. Like, oh, yeah, okay, I'm gonna quit messing with that kid. In our judicial and justice system, it's been infiltrated to the point where it doesn't matter. You say something, you show laws, you try to provide evidence, you try to get evidence, you try to do anything that would actually help you in a case or to defend your freedom or your sanity from being stalked and harassed. They just slap you down. There's no I don't even know what to say. There's just no, doesn't seem like America anymore. It seems like QAnon team and Trump are doing something to stop all this. I really, really hope that's the only thing. That's the only thing that'll really save my life. Like, there's so many people that stalk and harass me. Could ruin my business, infiltrated my life, gaslight me. I mean, I figured it all out. It's still hard to take because you're being punished for remembering that you're a victim, not playing the victim, as one person said to me, because I proved all of this shit. I pointed everything out to this person, to the point, to these people, some people, to the point that they could not deny anymore that I was right. Like, hard facts, substantial evidence, like my base, the 144th Fighter Wing, targeting whistleblowers for retaliation. I've got all this crazy shit going on in my life. There's so many different things that point to this being. Look at my videos. If you watch my videos and you say, "Oh, everything's normal here with this guy," here's your sign, or you're complicit with this huge psyop. So just some of you out there, the gang stalkers, just to let you know, some of the people you think you're harassing, you think you're being like, "Hey, I'm an American, I'm gonna get rid of the trash. Yeah, that's what they'd like to signal. I'm gonna get rid of the trash, call you trash." Not one of you people would sit here and have a conversation with me
and let me talk to you. And see, I have to explain myself. You need to explain yourselves to answer some questions. If not do it, because they couldn't answer the questions of why they do this to people, other than they get a paycheck or it's part of their cult club that they do these things and act it out. Freemasonry, acting out their first, second, third degrees. So when you call getting the third degree, you're getting the third degree right now from the fucking Freemasons. They want to destroy your life, but for some reason, because you stand up, because they want to keep you on the level. Basically, being communist. So that's my conclusion. Satanic, communist, Freemason, keeping it on the level, giving people the third degree that want to be an empowered individual, stand up and speak out about what they've gone through from these fucking people. So, if I had to guess, I'd guess my mom's Order of the Eastern Star. I'm pretty damn sure my ex-wife was either that or in some kind of Scientology, some kind of cultic type of uh, group like this, because this goes way back, way back. And I know I'm kind of going all over the place here, but this is just off the cuff. Obviously, you can tell I didn't go like get ready for a video. Just spent, I don't know, 12 hours on the road yesterday trying to find somewhere to live other than here because of this. If I had enough money, I could hire some private investigators and all, somebody with enough power connections. I could hire somebody to prove this happening to me. But just because I'm on this side of it, it's almost impossible to just stick up for myself. I'm gonna keep fighting. They just keep taking everything from me. I'm used to it. Never talk to my mom or my son again, ever. Just try to raise my daughter. Keep her away from these scumbags. I don't know what to do because it seems like they're everywhere. Everywhere we go, they're everywhere. I have video proof of this too. People are following you, huh? Yeah. My mom worked for the Federal Aviation Administration during the Ronald Reagan administration. She fired a bunch of air traffic controllers. My dad worked for Lockheed Martin, Skunk Works, was in private security. If anybody watching my video knows anything about gang stalking, organized stalking, harassment, everything I just said basically connects to a lot of this. Lockheed Martin, James Comey, director of the FBI that Trump fired, thank God, fucking piece of shit. Got paid $6 million by Lockheed Martin in 1 year for what? To work out this program, this social engineering program, get William Patrick Cox from Florida involved, and pass out a bunch of gift cards to a bunch of people that don't want to do shit for a living other than stalk and harass people, launder their money through that. Set up a Stasi policing system. I hope to God, I pray to God every day that these indictments are for every single one of you people that have done this to me. This is a human rights violation, it's human trafficking, it's a RICO Act violation, constitutional violation, First, Fourth, 13th Amendment, Federal Code, U.S. 18 U.S. 2440, 2441, 2660 or 1, stalking, yeah. Deprivation of rights under color of law. It's so many things. War crimes. The Geneva Conventions do not allow psychological operations. They say it's okay to shoot somebody in the head, but it's not okay to perform psychological operations on them. That's something that supposedly the whole world agreed on, pretty much. That other than a few countries, I don't know. So I'm pretty beat up right now, mentally, physically, financially. I don't think I'm repeating myself. Uh, had something like one of the worst either psyops or actual attacks. Uh, and they'll do these things to you while you're sleeping, night, maybe while you're in deep sleep, come in, gas you. Either they've got a way to do any of this stuff. So, and then they will let you know beforehand that something's going to happen and after, and there will be some physical side effects that don't seem normal to you, and then there will be signaling, and then you have to figure out the puzzle, and then you realize what happened to you, and then you have to try to explain this to whoever fucking listen. Can't call the police. They're the ones that started stalking me and harassing me when I first got here to Avondale. There's a Mike Pinto. He's a singer. He has a song. You can go to the cops, but they'll say you're crazy. Uh, and they just might be the cool and the deadly. He's talking about these people, the cool and the deadly. Look at Mike Pinto, Mike Pinto, the cool and the deadly. He's talking about these gang stalkers, murderers, and they hide in uniforms and in costumes, dress up as homeless people when they're driving a nice car. Go out and do these skits, and they get paid, I don't know, through the Freemasons. So basically, I don't know. It seems like to me maybe this is the video that will get me whacked. But basically, it seems to me that Freemasonry, came from England, 1717, and our country was actually built on that, on Freemasonry. I've loved our country always. I worked for the Air Force for 15 years. But I think a lot of us were fooled. So Freemasonry was started in England. Our country was founded on Freemasonry. Everything in Washington, D.C. is Masonic symbolism. Um, that one of the reasons that they do not talk about politics at Freemason lodges is because they know that politics means acting. In Greek. And they know that it's all a waste of time. They just keep us all occupied. And I realized that a long time ago. And then Trump came along, and it seemed like he feels the same way. Yeah, enough of this acting bullshit. Let's get down to business. Let's actually do something. And they hate him for it. Unless he is receiving an Oscar 10 years from now for this performance. It looks like he's doing something really great. I don't know if I'll get to see the end of it. But yeah, it's just, yeah, I can't even finish what I'm talking about. I just hope this executive order goes through. Follow through with everything. Get the metadata from the cell phone tracking of targeted individuals. I know they have algorithms that can do this. I know that there's artificial intelligence David Hawkins built some artificial intelligence for reverse crime scene engineering. If if the people with the money and the power, which they don't want him to work on this, but somebody could get together, get that guy to do independent investigations on people's targeting, that would be a good way to go back and connect all the dots with algorithms and artificial intelligence to show the timing and the repetition of everything that's happened in their life, long-term trauma-based setups to create dissociative identity disorder, or multiple personality disorder, which my ex-wife happened and just knit some little thing right before she left that she sent to my aunt Connie, and she named all of her art. She named that one multiple personalities, and then she was out of here. Like she accomplished her mission of creating multiple personality disorder or dissociative identity disorder in me, and her contract was up. She was out of here. So I never could figure out why when my USAA account, I joined the military in like 1999, and then my USAA account, my wife, ex-wife, was on that with me, and when I was going back through my bills, changing stuff up, whatever, they said, "Oh, I see you've had an account since 1997, huh?" I was like, "No, nope. I got my USAA account way later. I don't think I got USAA till, way later in my career." And I was like, "Oh, 1997, huh? 2017. Wow. My wife left in 2017. That would be exactly 20 years. Like she retired out of the military, like she was in special forces for the Marine Corps in their compartmentalized MK Ultra groups, which if you don't think exists, research that a little bit. This is how they get you to sound crazy to uneducated people, but anyone that knows, uneducated or ignorant. And when I say ignorant, I don't mean you're stupid, you just don't know the stuff. I'm ignorant to a lot of things still too. I'm trying to figure them out. But if you were to be like Amazing Polly, just go to Amazing Polly's YouTube channel and listen to how she connects the dots in her head and projects that information. Listen to how she does that, and you can do that yourself, for other people. You'll be able to figure this out. If you just go back to my first video, and you're an investigator, or you have a group, if you want to prove a situation wrong or right or otherwise, if you're an objective research group, I have over 300 videos on YouTube. I'm a former Air Force firefighter and then journalist, multimedia journalist. So my videos aren't all the greatest because I've had to do this just kind of on the fly, like get my phone out, and every once in a while I have time to set up my establishing shot, and then my cutaway, and then my close-up, my B-roll, my voiceover, editing. I know how to do all that. I don't have time to do that. So anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. I really need to get to work. I have I think 70 items I need to go find in my inventory and ship out, and I have zero energy. I'm completely over all of this. I need some kind of inspiration. I need some kind of hope, like light at the end of the tunnel. That's not a train. I don't mean that metaphorically. Like I hope the light at the end of the tunnel is the Trump train, not coming at me, but like coming to help me. And yeah, I don't think I don't think Trump is the politician. I think he's the guy the politicians didn't want to go in there and just go run. Everybody's been playing office for 100 years. I don't know, 60, no, 60, since Kennedy. Kennedy went in, tried to be a real president for the people. It's been bullshit since then. And now we have Trump. And I know there's 300 million people in the United States, but me personally, I need this to happen. So I guess I'm being a little selfish. Um, but I've got 40 something years of people that have some splaining to do. And I want to be around to see them see whatever happens then. See them get questioned, ask them some questions of my own, have them explain in front of a jury kind of things that they did and who they were connected to. Be awesome. Because they always like to watch you squirm, and I don't like to watch people squirm. I like to see people succeed and do well, but that after going through this, they might have helped change my view on that a little bit. I should go. Yeah, I'm gonna close down my eBay store or get rid of everything in there because I can't take it with me. There's 16, almost 17,000 items. Vintage baseball caps. Some of them were just listed within a couple of weeks ago, a week ago, new, but I'm putting everything 60% off. Get rid of it. And then when I close down the eBay store, just put it on hibernation or whatever, store away, whatever they call it. Maybe one of these days when I get to wherever I'm going, I can still do eBay in some capacity. I'll probably just have to do a website with e-commerce. Figure out another route. I've tried so long with them, and it's such a battle on the phone. Always they act like they're trying to help, and they just drag it out. And they've for sure had employees that have wasted thousands of hours. They deleted thousands of my photos and told me there's nothing they could do about it. And then gave me 2 free months of my subscription for eBay. Like, oh, hey, we're going to kick you in the nuts and then give you a Band-Aid for your arm. Man, I'm going to go.